And welcome to
The High as Fuck Podcast with your boys,
Matt Jackson.
and your boy, his limited edition action figure Jedi Joe motherfucking Cool. And we are here with an interview with a new band, debuting artist.
Debuting artist coming up in the near future. Coming up, not even in the near future no more. Coming up and slapping you in the face January 10th, I believe, or something.
Couple
Gilsaw,
days.
baby.
Gilsaw.
Gilsaw is calling us right now, so we're about to pick up the phone right now. That one? Oh. Hello, brother.
What's happening, my brother?
Welcome to the show.
Dude, what's up with technology working against us? That's some bullshit.
Yeah, I know, right? Because I was looking forward to maybe seeing the mask and shit in person and shit, but...
Dude, I had it on my fucking desk. I was going to open with that. But, you know, hey, that's laid plans, right?
Yep, that's the way it happens, man. But hey, it's fucking... We are the Highest Fuck Podcast, and...
We are the Highest Fuck Podcast, and we are here with the debuting artist that we were just talking about, Gilsaw.
Gilsaw himself.
Yes.
And I'm Matt Jackson, and this is my co-host,
Jedi Joe Cool. What's up?
Hi, guys. Thanks for the invite. Joe, I think this is the first time you and I have communicated.
Yes.
Matt's been shooting over some fucking messages that have been cracking me up. You know, like I'm in California, right? And so your accent comes across pretty well out here, and so like I played one of your voicemails, Matt, for my daughter, and she was like, "Where's he from?" Yeah, he's from. That is a South Carolina accent if I've ever heard one. So
yeah, I'm from North Carolina,
or wherever you're from, yeah. North Carolina, whatever, one of those Carolinas. So, yeah. Anyway, good to chat with you, man. I've been looking forward to this.
Yeah, me too.
Appreciate the early support of what we're doing here, and yeah, man, looking forward to this chat.
Yeah, me too. And I've been just looking forward to it myself as just in a sense of just like it's a debuting artist. It's he's been putting these teasers out that's just been getting me and my kid. Like my kid's 14, and when we heard the song that you sent us, like we got a sneak peek. We're one of those people he's been talking about that got the sneak peek on the track, and my hair stood literally up on my fucking arms. Like it was that intense for me, and it was just something else. Like it was, and it's hard to get that out of music sometimes. Is the hair standing up, that fucking like goosebumps,
the feeling of awe and intensity.
Yeah, and my son felt the same way about it. So,
dude, I can't like, man. That's high praise, right? Like for me, the reason I do this, thankfully has nothing to do with fame and fortune, because that shit's never going to come, right? And so it's all about like finding those people who it resonates with, right? Yeah. And then just like making that world happen. And so yeah, man, your reaction meant the world to me, and thank you for sharing that. That just adds coal to the fire for me to go and keep creating, keep the creative process going. So
yeah, because like I do music that is it's a niche, you know what I'm saying, as well. And so when I heard this, I was like, oh, okay, so like, yeah, this is something I'm into, because of like I'm a Nine Inch Nails guy, like Tool, and like just I even go further into that with like, you know, if I can even think of the Sapor Alternus, I believe that's how you pronounce it, Sapor.
Yeah. Check them out.
I dive into some weird ass music, and like this stuff right here is like so there. I love the fucking. So the mask is a part of your whole deal.
Yeah. So here's the story with that. Let's go there right from the start. So the first song being released underneath the Gilsaw banner is called Risen. That's the one that is drops next Friday. That's the one that you've heard.
Yeah.
And so that song is one of 6 songs that's on the debut EP that will be coming out probably early spring. The EP actually tells a story, and the story is about a guy who he thinks he's doing what's right in life. He's he's working. He feels that he's being a valuable member to society, and society just looks past him, right? Like he's kind of an afterthought, and so with that, he searches for outlets, right, to find some sort of comfort, some sort of like belonging in the world. And so one of those outlets is he fosters this, or he generates this deity called Risen, and it's in his mind, right? So it's kind of like his madness coming out. And so Risen is one of the songs, and it really shows like how he's using, like, looking for some sort of spiritual outlet to try to help, calm his inner turmoil. He just so happens to conjure up this, slightly evil deity named Risen. Then the next song that I'll release will come out early February, and that's called Siren Comes. And that one is going to be a lot more about how this person is looking for an outlet through, seduction, right? And so it's a whole song about this entity, the siren. Sirens are part of lore where they would sing these songs to drift ships into the islands to make them crash. And so they're real evil, but they have this beautiful voice. And so this is about the siren coming and visiting this person to try to seduce him and steal his soul. And then it goes into kind of a darker theme where Risen is convincing this person to actually take his own life through actually a pretty awful way of doing that, of like self-burial, right? So he's talks about digging a trench and crawling into the trench and covering yourself up. And then the closing, the last song is kind of pulls it all together. And what you find is all these things were figments of this person's imagination, and it just came from society just grinding him to a fucking pulp. And so he was looking for outlets through all of these avenues. One being really heavy, like fentanyl, meth use, and so he goes really down that dark path there, and he ends up being kind of a vagrant nomad, lives around the Salton Sea of California, and he ends up actually overdosing and he's dead in a ditch, right? And so the crux of it is, it was just this person who was, through all the bullshit in society, finding a pathway that ended up costing him his life. And it's just kind of the madness of his mind and his thinking in those final stages is really what the album is. So it's kind of, it's a horror story, right? With like a undercurrent of like, of a meaning of like, it's really hard to be successful in the way that we have designed a lot of our society, because I talk about toxic soil. Yeah. And there's a lot of that toxicity in the soil that we're trying to grow, figuratively speaking. And so it's really kind of condemnation of that. So all that to be said, first song being Risen. Yes, Risen is in a mask, and sure, he looks satanic, although it's not Satan. You wouldn't believe that online, because the feedback I get is everybody's telling me how I'm the devil. And so
I've seen that. Yeah, I've seen that.
Which is like, oh shit, okay, if you want to just like wave your hands at the top line, that's fine, but there's a little bit deeper meaning to it. So anyway, so that's it. So Risen actually shows up in the second video as well, because he has a small part in that one. So you will see him there, and then there's another song on the album that he has a part on. So he shows up in like half of the EP. So that's a whole lot of words to answer your question of the mask. So.
Oh no, that was a perfect wording, well put too as well. You really got it planned out and mapped out where, everything matters within the story.
It's like, dude, it's one of those things where once you start tapping into creativity, this because the shit that you do is right in that creative vein as well with your podcast and music and whatever else, right? Like once you start tapping into that stuff, it just flows, right? Like
Yeah.
you don't even know where the shit comes from.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's just
where
there.
the hell did this thought come from?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Where did I just get all that from? You know, exactly. I feel that every day that I live, man. It's like when we're on, right? Just
Yeah, that's exactly it. And I love it, and I wouldn't change a damn thing about that. And it's like some of my songs that I create are heavy and dark, and then others are really light and optimistic, and then I have others that are sad, right? And then others that are, seductive. And it doesn't mean that any one of those are the prevailing persona of who I am. It just is, hey, that's what I was experiencing at that time, and it came out in a fucking song that I love. So
yeah, definitely.
Life mimics art, and art mimics life. And it is just a reflection of everything that we are doing and experiencing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just it, man. Like, it's so much of art is just kind of being misunderstood, right? Like, there's a lot of people who strive for a black and white world where it's good or bad, it's a 1 or a 0, it's right or wrong, it's this or that. And most of life is not that, man. It's the fucking gray space in between those two. And for me, that's where art lives, is to like really muck through that gray space of life and bring it to life. Put a name to it, put a sound to it, put a visual to it. And man, and it resonates with some people, and some people it doesn't, and that's fine, man. There's 120,000 songs uploaded to Spotify a day.
Yeah.
So guess what? If this song doesn't resonate with you, thanks for listening to it, and feel free to move on to the other 119,999 songs that were released that day.
Yeah, that is true. That is true as hell. Sometimes you're just gonna be that underground, artist sometimes for a while, but like just the way you've grown with just teasers and stuff is really good,
Yeah, thanks, man. I spend a lot of time on this stuff. I'm really protective of the brand, for lack of a better term. And so, it's not to say that I'm perfect. I push some shit out where I'm like, yeah, that was fucking stupid. I shouldn't have done that. But for the most part, things have to pass the test. Is this Gilsall? Is this at a Gilsall level or not? And I'll miss that mark at times. Like, I'm not perfect. I don't strive for perfection. But even the little things is like, spend the time, do it right. Make sure that when I push it out, it's got that Gilsall signature on it, and make sure it really earned that signature. And so, yeah, I appreciate that feedback. I hope that when the song drops, when the video drops, that I know you've heard the song, so you've enjoyed that, but hopefully you enjoy the video as well. I'm pretty proud of the video. I've shown some clips and teasers from it, but it's
very excited to see videos. I listened to the song earlier. Matt let me listen to the Risen song, and it was good. I'm excited to now hear, especially hearing just from the little bit that you told us about the EP, to see the videos and really dig into the lore of everything, because in my profession, right, I'm not a psychiatrist. I don't have the medical degree. I am a counselor. I work with people with mental health issues. And so to hear the level of intensity of the emotion and feelings and stuff that you put into the work, I'm excited now to listen to and see the other videos and see the things and see it in its entirety.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. I do not shy away from talking about mental health, and mental health will come through in probably a lot of themes of what it is that I write for the Gilsall brand. And it's that classic stigma with it, right? Where, especially with men, where it's, we don't want to admit any of those challenges because it comes across as weakness, right? And fuck that, man. Like, that's not the case at all. Like, we as men, we need to, as humans in general, but men specifically, because we have that stigma, is to just embrace it, man. Like all of us are fucked up in some way, shape, or form.
Yep.
All of us struggle with something. None of us are perfect, and so we should just stop acting as if, man. Like, we should be able to say, hey, man, like, I'm feeling fucking sad, and I don't know why. Well, cool, man. Let's fucking grab a coffee and talk about it, right?
Yeah.
And that's to me is healthy, and that's masculinity, is to be able to do that. And so I don't know, I'll play my little small part in trying to bring comfort to talking through that stuff. The other thing with me is so I live in the Bay Area, right? And you go into San Francisco, a lot of the music I listen to, the bands play at small clubs in the city, and you go into places like the Tenderloin District, right, where there's a lot of really rampant drug use, and I'm talking about like heavy drugs, right? And it's sad. It's not. I don't go down there and feel fearful. I go down there and feel empathy for these like lost souls, right? Where it's like, yeah, they're not pure victims. They've made some pretty fucking stupid choices in their life to end up there.
Yeah.
But also, as a society, we've built a pretty quick pathway to bad decisions equal being on the street bent over because you're fucking on a fentanyl high, right?
Yeah.
And so some of this is like, as a society, what the fuck can we do better? Like, what ownership can we take as contributors to the society to try to right some of these wrongs? And maybe just start with your local community or your tribe of people that you connect with and help there. But anyway, so it's come from a lot of empathy, right? None of this is like, haha, let's make fun of the drug guy that dies in the ditch and thinks that risen is God. It's not that at all. It's more of like, yeah, this is kind of a fucked up story, and it is. It's a pretty fucked up story. So.
Oh yeah, it's just being able to tell your story through that type of art, and being able to just be able to rise above it through using art, through them difficulties like drug use and all these other darknesses that people walk through every day, through the muck of this life, but being able to turn it into like something that you can actually get something out of it,
Yeah.
Like you get something mentally out of it, you get something physically out of it, you get something in general out of it. And if you don't, then you're not looking hard enough in it. And if you're just seeing, like, oh, Satan all in it, satanic this, satanic that, then you're not seeing it for what it really is. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes
it's funny. I had somebody posted on one of my posts. I mean, the world's full of trolls, right? And so like I try to not give them much time at all.
Yeah.
But somebody posted that I'm so sick of this devil stuff, like you need to start doing stuff that's right for the world, or I can't remember, he got on some Irish, and I was like how do I want to start responding to these things? And my answer is I just don't respond, right? Like,
yeah,
because my goal, I don't want to debate. I don't want to be like, oh no, you don't understand, because then it's like, yeah, but you're wearing a horned mask, and it's like, all right, fuck, you just taking me down a path of like misdirection, and I'm not open to that. So I'm just like, okay, thanks, it's not for everybody, move on.
Yeah.
But yeah, some people, it's like anything, right? It's black or white. So a person who wears a mask with horns, he's a devil worshiper. Okay, that's your black and white world. It's not the reality. It's in the gray space, but keep thinking your black and white world is what it is. So.
Yeah, and just because you see something that's dark looking doesn't mean it's connected to Satan in any way. So a lot of things.
Like we all are humans, and so we all come with a bouquet of fucking emotions, man.
Yeah.
One of them is fucking anger and fear, man, and hate.
Yep.
Like we have that in us as humans, and if you don't find ways of expressing that, then you just keep suppressing it, man, and then it ends up coming out in ways that you don't want that shit to come out, right? So
yeah, exactly.
Be open, man. Watch fucking scary stuff. Listen to some evil music, right? And then you're just like, man, I purged that shit out. Feels great. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a lot of people are just like, I don't know. It's just like people go watch movies and stuff, and and they're fine with that. But when it comes to music, it's like it's a whole different format there. Or anything. It's just
so ridiculous. Much of that came from in the 80s and 90s, right? There was that whole like Satanic Panic, and then
Yep.
Sarah Gore had her big thing with like warning labels on music, and like they made this real big stigma with it, and you know, and it just scared a lot of people, right? And so like that's just has, and then that what that did was it created those who listened to that music to go even like deeper, right?
Yep.
Like, oh yeah, this is bad. Wait until you see what I'm capable of, right? And so, yeah, man, it's just a stigma. Like, dude, I'm the most boring son of a bitch you probably ever meet in your entire life, right? But yeah, I write some really like whacked out shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but I'm fucking boring. Like, I have a well manicured yard because I like mowing my grass. Okay, like, you know, like I'm boring, but I just have this avenue that that needs to be. I need to be comfortable exposing it, and I think others. Well, I know others need to be comfortable exposing it as well. So.
Yeah, and seeking out a different side of you, yeah. Because there's so many different versions of yourself. There's like millions of different versions of yourself out there, but you can at least paint the one you want to see and be.
You can try to be the one you want to be. Everybody's going to have their
With
own
that
opinion, their
artistic
experience.
flow. Yeah. But with that artistic flow, you're able to create and be what you see.
That's exactly it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With all these other million versions.
Here's the way that I try to approach my life is I want to be the authentic version of myself, and not a watered down microwave version of somebody else.
I like the way.
And so I want to be true to who I am, and that means that. Listen, I'm not going to fit in the perfect circle of what some people want me to be, and that's okay. You know,
Yeah.
And so, so it's easier said than done, right? Like, judgment exists. People will look at you and say, like, oh, the high as fuck wrestling podcast. Well, I don't like cannabis is bad and wrestling is stupid.
Yeah.
And so, like, okay, sure, man, that's your fucking worldview. That's great. That's not my worldview. So, like,
and there are people that it resonates with. So why the fuck not?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. That's exactly right, man. Like,
and why do we have to give up on our? Why do we have to give up on our like dream or our little thing that we want to do? Why should we give up on what we're doing to fit someone else's need or niche or whatever it is there, or to meet someone else's appraisal when I've got like 2 kids that their appraisal means more than most anybody else in this world. So like, there you go with that. So I mean, you got kids too, so you know what that is, and then just being able to just do it with your best friend too as well. Like, you're able to podcast and have interviews with bands and wrestlers and all this stuff, and like, who is to say, who are they to say take that away, or to say we should do it a different way, or we should do anything outside of the way we want to do it?
That's exactly right. There's I really fight against gatekeepers.
Yeah.
Like those who say, like, you need like, the music I create it takes elements of progressive rock, progressive metal.
Yeah,
where progressive rock and metal, they blow away what the constructs of a song is, right? Like the way a song should be formatted, or I don't do crazy timing structures, but like, what does timing structures look like in a song? And so they really push the envelope there. And then in the industrial side, they push the envelope of what the fuck is an instrument?
Yeah.
What constitutes an instrument, right? And so now you have people that will say, sorry, that a song must be, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, verse, right? And it must be 4/4 time, and you should have 8 measures per this, and you should need to have acoustic drums and a bass guitar and a lead guitar and vocalist, and the vocalist must be able to sing in key and all this shit, right? Like, to me, I'm like, fuck that. Who's going to gatekeep that? Nobody. I want to create shit that I think sounds good for me. And I want people to be like, that's not real music. Okay, cool. I think it is, and I think your definition of music is fucked. But like,
Yep.
guess what? We're going to disagree and move on.
Yep,
So,
that's exactly right.
and it's just like with you guys with the podcast, right? Like, you know, you'll get pushed back on, you know, this, that, and the other thing of people saying like, sorry, here's the black and white mold that you must fit in order for me to accept you. And what I tell them is, kindly go fuck yourself.
Yeah, just kindly go fuck yourself. Not
And
the
we'll
biggest...
be over here doing what we're gonna do. And,
Yep.
yeah.
We're gonna keep doing and pushing what we're doing this year.
And I'm gonna keep
It's
geeking out.
2025. We're gonna fucking break down some gates. You know what I'm saying? Fuck them gates.
No, I love it, man. Like that. You gotta watch.
I've been pushing that shit since 2020. 2020.
2020.
Yeah, that fucking shitty year.
20?
I've been pushing.
That was the shittiest year.
I've been pushing like the Highest Fuck podcast since then, and like the fucking my music I've been putting out, and I don't want to fucking, I don't set to a mold either, and I get told I'm unconventional as well, and I don't give a fuck. I'm doing what I'm gonna do, but I want to segue into, since we're talking about all this, into inspiration on your project.
Yeah, man.
Like bands, anything that inspired you during your pathway to Gilsaw itself.
And what actually, what actually is Gilsaw? Because you said we, so it's a project involving multiple people. So I would assume.
That sounds exactly what I've been doing for a while. So this is straight up my
Great question. So it is. So I don't want to be too philosophical here. So it is a solo project in the fact that I am the only one actually actively contributing to it. Okay. Yeah. And so, but Gilsaw is not me. So that's why I refer to it as a band. Right? Because to me, there's a couple things with that. One is I don't envision this to be simply a solo project from now until the end of time. Like eventually I will be pulling others into this. And so what I don't want is there like a conversion point of like, oh, it used to be a solo project and now it's a band, right? So for me, the vision is always a band. My vision is to get this on a stage with a group of musicians playing this music with a lot of creativity. So now it is a solo project in the way that it's being constructed at present time. Now, as far as inspiration is concerned, so I'm a product of heavy music from the late 80s, early 90s is where I really really got into heavy music, right? So that's when I mean, I was still am, a huge Nine Inch Nails fan.
That's what I was thinking.
Yep. Pretty Hate Machine came out in '89, and that album is just, it still holds up. I can still crank it and still just fucking love every bit of it.
That's my favorite
so
album.
It's so great. Like, what Trent Reznor was doing was just like unheard of, right? And so, and then also like Pantera, I was still a huge Pantera fan. Sorry, I'm dropping drumsticks everywhere in my studio. Huge Pantera fan, and so that's where I really got exposed to a little heavier sound, right? And so, and then my journey just kind of went from there, and really it was kind of 2010 or so that I started to listen to some more progressive type of music. So it was bands that are not hugely known, but like, the Ocean Collective was the first band that I really liked from the progressive realm. And then that got me in with Devin Townsend.
I know who
the Devin Townsend project.
Yeah.
And so then it was like just a rabbit hole there of like all of these progressive bands. And I'm like, how do these bands only have like 1,000 followers on Spotify? Because this shit is just amazing. And so that's when I realized there's a lot of shit that's not on the beaten path that fucking jams. And so then I was like, all right, man, like I've just kind of been fed the corporate music for most of my life. What else is out there? Like, let's dig a little deeper. And so then that was it. Like, forget about it. Now most of the shit I listen to, nobody's ever even heard of, right? But they're on heavy repeat in my house. And so, yeah, it's really, I pull from that early industrial sound, you know, early Ministry, early Gravity Kills. There's this band called Prick that they only had 2 albums. Prick is an amazing artist. I'm going to actually remake one of his songs.
Oh, hell yeah.
Kevin Share, space out his last name, he's the brainchild behind Prick. Anyway, so like some of those early-ish industrial pioneers. And then I also pulled from a lot of progressive metal, Gojira, Meshuggah. Like, although my music doesn't sound like them, that's a deep influence that I have. Tool, I'm a huge Tool fan, huge Danny Carey fan. And so,
any Manson?
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely.
Okay, I was figuring.
Early Manson to me was amazing. That "Smells Like Children" album was. That was the first Manson album that I picked up, and I was like, "What the fuck is this, man?"
Yeah, dude.
It's a little off. I'm a little nervous, a little uncomfortable, but I fucking love it.
Yeah,
and,
it does have that uncomfortability about it. Manson makes you feel though, so that's the thing I like about him. His music's always made you feel. So
yes, yeah, and he may do some pretty shitty things in his real life, but like from a music standpoint, that motherfucker pulled together some gems. And then I also was a big fan of Filter, the band Filter.
Okay.
And so so a lot of those like early industrial influences. And then I really do enjoy like new age kind of atmospheric, where it's just like a mental journey. It's like meditative type of music.
Like Wolves in the Throne Room?
No, more like there's an artist, his name is Stephen Roach, and it's just this like really like inspirational synthesizer type of soundscapes, right? That you just kind of feels like you just kind of float to, and it's really great for meditation. And so I pull some of those elements in here. A lot of my songs, what you'll hear is like intensity, and then I give a breather where it's like, let's just like cleanse the palate a little bit.
Yeah. And
then I'm going to fucking throttle you again, right? And I'm going to throttle you maybe even a little harder. And so to me, it's like a really nice, like, moment of breathing inside of a song. And so I also like to listen to a lot of that music as well. So, and then do like classic shit. Like, you know, I love Led Zeppelin. Like, to me, Led Zeppelin is one of the best bands ever. And some of the shit that they came up with was just groundbreaking, right? Like, they were pushing the envelope in big ways. I'm a huge Pink Floyd fan, right? And so some of that, like, kind of mindfulness type of soundscapes. And so, yeah, man, just a very, very background of types of music
broad
that kind of come into play.
Broad, you know, array of, you know, inspiration and stuff.
For sure.
You know, like, you know, sometimes people be pulling some, you know, odd stuff. Like, I know if, you know, I was ever asked, it'd be like, you know, some wrestling be thrown in there, but, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, but anyway, like, yeah, fucking Mortis, though. Have you ever heard of Mortis?
Mortis?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
They're an older band. They're around, probably when my mom was younger, but they're still making music now with the whole, you know, he does the whole elf look. And I really am intrigued by, like, the whole character in things and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So,
you know, there's a band that is in your neck of the woods. He's out in North Carolina, and it's called The Reticent, and he writes a lot about mental health. He has an album, The Reticent is the band that he does it under, an album that's about dementia And man, it is an emotional album, but my God, is the dude so incredibly talented. And so his name is Chris. I spaced out his last name. Chris Hathcock is his name. But yeah, the Reticents. Yeah, definitely check them out, man. And every once in a while, he'll pop a live show in the North Carolina area. But anyway, there's a lot of great music out there that people haven't heard of. So.
Oh, I know. We're going to a show later tonight.
Yeah.
We're gonna go see a band called June, Jund, and I can't remember the other bands that are gonna be on there, but I know June's on there. And that show's gonna be lit. We're going to a private place called DJ Watts here in Martinsville. And
that's awesome, man.
It's gonna be lit tonight. It's gonna be 3 or 4 bands, something like that, playing tonight. It's gonna be lit.
Dude, how fucking great is live music?
I know, right? We've been
the
going
only
crazy.
way to experience music, man.
It is.
Exactly right.
Y'all go and see live music.
You have to support your local live bands because the only way to listen
Yes,
to
sir.
music is live. Like it just.
Yes, sir.
And in a small venue
Buy
like
some
a
merch.
private club like DJ Watts is like, I mean,
Yeah, it's a little private area,
yeah.
and we're trying to play
That's
that.
crazy.
I'm trying to play that as Dinosaurs with Knives, and then I want to play it as Lord Atheist. Because that shit's easy to do. It's just a pop-up, like, freestyle fucking gimmick deal. It's really dope. It's like an artistic flow. It's like improv, artistic, something another. Music project.
That's awesome. That's the Lord Atheist, you said?
Yeah, Lord Atheist.
Okay, because I saw. All right, cool. So now I've made the connection because I saw Lord Atheist come across on Facebook, and so I'll definitely check that out.
I do a whole multi personality deal with that project, so it's all about multi personality, and the whole storytelling of the whole thing with Dinosaurs with Knives, Lord Atheist, Lady Cadaver. They all coexist in the same body, but they just get released at different times.
That's awesome.
It's fucking. I've been doing it since I was a young man, like 2020. I mean 2012. I meant 2012. I meant. Well,
That's awesome.
The channels in 2020. I mean, with the Lord Atheist thing was 2020, but I've been doing the whole multi-personality thingamajigger in my music ever since 2012 with Dinosaurs and Knives, and I did Lady Cadaver as well back in the day too as well. And it's just a beautiful thing to be able to just grow with that shit.
Dude, I love it. Like first of all, I'm going to underscore absolutely support local live music. Like, it's really, we have to support art and we have to support the artists producing art.
Yep.
Or else AI is going to make all that shit go away.
Yep. And there's so much AI
music.
music.
Living that dystopian future.
I'm okay with AI art, like, in a sense, like, you know.
No, that's even still.
I know.
Our robots are going to take over, and we live in the dystopian future where we don't have any kind of art that is original music. It's or art. Like, it's just recreations of a robot creating it. And no, we don't want to live in that future.
No, I don't want to. No, I'm just saying, like, in the art situation, it's not as bad as the music, is what I'm saying. Like, the music being taken over is a way more, like, it's really important because people are still going to get their art done by real artists. You know what I'm saying?
I hope so, man.
But if you're just doing like a simple project that's not like meant for like a, meant to be too much more than just a project, then I say go for it.
Yeah, it's funny, like
but also like use real stuff. Don't rely on it.
Like, yeah, there's like when I'm creating videos, I just created a video for my second song, Gilsal's second song, which is Siren Comes, and I wanted footage of a woman and water, right? And so I could find some like shitty stock footage and I was like, I don't want that. Like, I want something that's like kind of majestic and like leans in sexually, but is not like overtly sexual, like something that's like tempting, I think is probably the best way to frame it. And I found this guy out of Russia that creates these videos on some website. And he had some of these like 30-second clips of this, this lady underwater, and was like, that's exactly what I wanted. And so like I bought like a minute and a half of clips, and it cost me like $120 or something. But I was like, dude,
Wow.
keep making videos, man. Like, to me, that is exactly what I wanted. It's better than me just pulling some shit stock footage that's out there, or going to AI and having them generating, some woman with like 8 toes and like,
Yeah.
and so anyway,
Some
not to
images can be
soapbox
good.
too much on that, but like definitely support local art, local musicians. To me, that's like absolutely critical. And then the other thing that you talked about, man, was like the multiple personalities of it.
Yeah.
And I know for me, I've got, so I do a couple things. I have, some cover bands and stuff that I'm a part of where, we just go and we bang out, the hits, right? But so that's one outlet. And then I have a couple side projects that are nameless right now. We don't have any names, but that we're creating some original music. I play drums. Drums are my primary instrument,
Okay.
and so I'm the drummer for those projects. We'll see where they go. One of them, I think, will probably end up releasing some stuff, but I also have another side project that I haven't fully started yet, but it's really that like meditative music, right? Where it's like really just soundscapes, for lack of a better term. And I have ideas, and like what'll happen, and you probably do this, Matt, where you come up with an idea and then you're like, what bucket does that idea fit in?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, right, and so then you're like, okay, that's going to be a Lord Atheist bucket. I'm not ready to deal with that one yet, so I'll just like earmark it, and I'll get to it at some point in the future.
Yep.
But that's not a dinosaur with knives. That's your one, right?
Yeah.
That's not that, right? And so, and I do that with Gilsall, where I'm like, that's a Gilsall song. And then there's another ones where it's like, that's not. So it's either one of these side projects that I have with other musicians, or it's my other solo project that, again, doesn't have a name either, or it's a Gilsall, right? And so, so to me, where I talk about gatekeepers, people gatekeep themselves. They're like, no, I've got to only create songs that fit in this tight, narrow window of what I deem to be my sound.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, dude, you're limiting yourself, man. Like, stretch your boundaries, right? And so, anyway, so I'm glad that when you said that, I'm like, dude, I know exactly what you're talking about. 'Cause I do the same thing. So.
And I feel crazy sometimes, but I mean, it was just the best outlet for me to be able to control and control my multi-personality deal within the music that I create, and being able to fucking channel that into something. Because I was always told, like, write it down and rip it up. And I was always the person that's like, write it down and rip it up. What? How did Jonathan Davis get over all that traumatic shit? He wrote it down, yes, but he sung it to all to hear. He wrote it down in the format to where he sung his feelings to people, and people fucking resonated with it. People fucking got something. Somebody felt something from it. Somebody learned something from it. Somebody fucking took a page out of it. Somebody took something, you know what I'm saying? And so that's the connection right there. So I always took down that write it down, but, put it in a song format, or put it in a poem, or put it in art, or whatever the format is, and just create it through that. And yeah, like you said, like there's times where I'm like, that is not, like, I'll go to record New Lord Atheist shit, and it's like, that is not him. That is, this other character deal. And I'm like, well, fuck, man, I got a song there for him though, for that entity. So like, and you were speaking of the entity as well. And I use that as just the whole ordeal, it's just an entity that takes over. And I have a whole backstory to the whole everybody. Like, it's just insane. So, and how everything came.
It is, I don't want to say it's enjoyable, because I don't know if that's what to me is healthy, right? Like, it's healthy, like, just to purge, man. Like, if you don't purge, then you just keep that shit buckled up, lidded up real tight on the inside, and then, man, like, it just comes out. It's going to come out one way or another. You might as well just like extract it yourself, or let it fucking explode inside of you. And you don't want that to happen.
Yeah, because when I get behind that microphone, when the guys, Joe Cool plays the drums for me for Dinosaurs and Knives, and my pops plays the guitar, and just every time I get behind that fucking that mic and let scream and do whatever I'm doing in that deal, it's just such a release of everything that could ever be bottled up. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's been missing is just that right there is that live music deal. So I know Joe feels like highly about that as well because you come over here, you bang them drums.
I do, and it was funny. Chris told me a long time ago, if I put you on the floor by the end of a song, then I've done my job.
Yeah,
right?
If I'm laying in the floor,
but
singing.
I've been not really paying attention to it much, just
now I've controlled
music. But now, like the other day, I saw you squatting, and I was like, okay, he's almost on the floor. He's not on the floor, but I got him where I need to get him. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm not been going all the way to the floor lately. I just been like not trying to. I don't know. It's not about that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like. I guess like for shows though, like if they were like, I just it's just hits. It hits when and definitely when I drop to the ground, it's I guess it's my entities are taking over and they've like fucking fully like submerged themselves in there. Especially when like the voice of dinosaurs comes out, like that's the whole energy from it, and like with Chris playing guitar, it's always been like that. Them voices are always there, and I'm always on point. We do improv music, and we're gonna be working out to doing some actual tracks, of course, the way you do music, quote unquote do music. But what we want to do, like I've done before, I've done it one time in my life. I did this whole show, and it had 200 people there for other bands, but like it was a bunch of bands, so a bunch of people came, and we played a set, and it was all improv. They went out there and played their music, and I just sang songs. I just sang, I did my thing.
That's awesome.
And it's just, once you've done it so much with what we've been doing and practicing doing, it's just improv was the way I wanted to do it. Because I don't have that stress, and I can just go out there and improv art. And fucking, and people's walked away going, damn, dude, how long did it took y'all to get that fucking figured? And I'm like, dude, that was the first time I heard it. like every time we get together, that's the first time we've even heard it. Like, and it's just,
isn't that great?
Yeah, it is. Because when you connect like that with instruments and with people, like when Joe came in to replace my old drummer, it was just like it was meant to be at this birthday party I had. Like, and I had the show, and I just wanted to do it for my birthday, just do it, and then it melted into something even better than I could have thought in the beginning. I thought, oh, we're just gonna do this for my birthday and nothing of it, and now we're having a show. We're having get-togethers every like Wednesdays or whenever we get together.
That's awesome.
It's a beautiful thing.
There is, to me, so I have a couple people that in these side projects that I have where other musicians, and we'll get together and we'll do a combination of two things. One is we'll work on refining some of the songs that we've already created or started to seed out, right? And so then that's a little bit more like tedious, right? Of like, oh, this part we should probably throw in a bridge here. What should that sound like? Whatever else. It's a little more boring, shall we say? But we also do these big jam sessions where it's like, let's just start fucking playing, right? And we record them. And we'll record like hours worth of stuff. And then we'll go back and listen to it and be like, dude, that piece right there, that's a fucking gem. Like, let's extract that and let's build a song around it, right? And there's this one song that I'm working on with actually this guy, he's a neighbor of mine, and he played this part. He's a guitarist. He's multi-instrument. He does guitar and bass. And it sounded slightly like the Knight Rider theme song without like being overtly Knight Rider. And I was like, dude, what you were doing there was fucking awesome. And so we pieced it out and was like, that is a fucking song. And so we then kind of mapped it out, and I actually threw lyrics on top of it, and we made it a song actually about race cars. And so that's fun. Like, that didn't exist. That wasn't like sitting down with like a blank piece of paper and say, okay, let's start writing a song. It's like, no, let's make a song happen. Right? Yeah. And that's it. People who are not musicians, and I don't want to use it as a gatekeeping term. Like, if you pick up an instrument and start playing it, congratulations, you're a musician. But people who actually sit down and play music, you don't realize that until you actually start doing it. Where it's like, I'm connecting with these other humans in this room right now.
Yeah.
We're on this different wavelength, like, and like we're fully fucking connected, and it's magical. So,
well, it's funny you mentioned that because we'll go back and listen to our songs like that because we play and then we just have jam sessions like you were talking about where we record them and then we'll go back and listen to them and we're like, we have no business sounding as good as we do.
yeah, right.
No business. No business. The pop-up band.
For just putting music together that we just randomly started playing, that has no business sounding as good as it does.
Yep.
That's exactly it, man.
And I tell,
you're just like that fucking came out of me.
yeah,
It's amazing.
I tell Joe all the time, we are ready. I mean, if we can pop up and do this already for the growth that we've gotten and the progression. I mean, the last couple we've done are fucking fantastic up to that level of being able to just pop up anywhere and play a show at any time because it doesn't matter about scripting it out or having lyrics set. I'm just going to go up there and do my thing as long as y'all can do y'all's thing.
Dude, I love it. Like,
That's
I think,
the energy's going to be there. The hype's going to be there. The fucking, the dude that I'm supposed to be is going to be there.
Yeah.
So
that's exactly it, man.
Because I'm locked in on that dinosaur shit.
It's yeah, man. I'm gonna absolutely have to pull down. No, yeah, I'll have to. I'm gonna. Okay, man. I'm gonna like go into your all of your shit online for those now. So like, get ready. I'm looking forward to it. So.
Hell yeah, man. Anything you want to say, Joe? I know you got something.
We talked about inspiration. And we talked about a little bit about mental health and the beauty of music for mental health and getting the stress out and getting the, like, and just the keeping from bottling up the emotions. I love the mindset behind that because it's just so often that men, like you were talking about, we're so expected to be incredibly strong and not able to talk about what bothers us. And I think just hearing you say, you know, sit down with a friend and in your local community and just say, like, I'm not feeling great right now. I'm feeling sad. I don't know why. Let's sit down and have a cup of coffee and talk about it. I love that.
Yeah.
And making sure that, you know, that is, you know,
the energy that we all need to be
the energy
at,
that we all need to bring to the table when we have friends, because there are people going through things that we don't even know that they're going through.
Yeah,
dude, that's exactly, like, there is there are people who put on a front that makes you believe that they have all of their shit together, right?
Yeah.
But that's just a facade, man. Nobody has all their shit together. Nobody. In all my years on this earth, I've yet to meet a single person that has all of their shit together. Right?
We're all constantly looking for the adultiest adult in the room.
Yes, dude, I love that. Fuck, I love that so much. That's exactly right. And so, like, so let's stop pretending, man. Like, let's just own it. Like, there are things that both of you do that are significantly better than me, right? And so if I'm struggling with one of those things, then I should reach out to you guys and be like, hey man, like, I'm struggling with this thing, right?
Yeah.
And then vice versa, right? Like, there's some things that I'm just better than you guys at, and I don't know what these are, right? It's not
it's hypothetical.
Let's find out what these are. But like, where it's like you're struggling with that, well, fucking reach out, man. Like, let's chat about that, right? And it could be relationship centered, it could be mental health centered, it could be just, you know, some type of practical thing in life, right? But like, we all should become comfortable leaning on each other and supporting each other when needed, right? Like, pay it forward, right? And so, like, yeah, man, like, I'm if there's one thing that I can accomplish with this is kind of like breaking down some of that stigma, even if it's just with a small group, that's fine. Like, you know, to me, that's mission accomplished. So.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. Because I mean, we just need to get together. I keep saying it. I mean, I say it myself. It's like, you know, we're all in it together.
Well, I
So-
think we talk a lot about community, right?
Yeah, community
And
is talked
it-
about a lot.
In general, we throughout the podcast have talked a lot about community and how important community is. And it's really hard to find community in this world. And I think when we find that community, we found it through the brotherhood of professional wrestling and marijuana. And now we're extending into the music. I mean, you know, but it's finding a sense of community and people you can connect with so you can feel connected. And that's
Absolutely.
one of the most important things in this entire existence.
Yeah, that's what life is.
Absolutely.
People looking for what does life mean, and that's what
Yep.
life means right there. It's the community. It's the fucking being in it together. That's what life means. That's your present. That's your existence. That's what it means. It means being together in this together. Because, you know, people look at it as, oh, it's dark. It's this. It's bleak. I mean, it's dark and bleak sometimes, yes, but sometimes it's how you're making it as well. So sometimes reach out and, you know, reach out to somebody, or, you know, like we were talking about, is like, you know, hit somebody up, see if you can get someone to talk to, you know, or whatever.
Yeah, man.
So,
Yeah, man. And you know what? Guess what? If your friend just hasn't kind of been themselves in a while, just fucking give them an elbow. Say, what's going on, bro?
yeah.
Like, you doing okay, man? Like, I've just kind of felt like you've got this, like, something stewing in there, man. And
Yeah.
so, like, you know, if they're your bros, then you can tell that stuff, right? And
Yeah.
so, like, you know, and you know, you're exactly right, man. It's like finding that common ground, that community, and just loving the shit out of it, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, love your community, man. Love the people that are in that community. Like, it's, you know, it's so important. So I live in the Bay Area, which is where Silicon Valley is, which is where there's a lot of extremely wealthy people that live here. They are some of the most miserable sons of bitches I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
And it's because they never actually chased the things in life that actually derive happiness. Because that big fucking house and all the Teslas in your driveway and all that, and that high-powered job, that's vapid, man. That doesn't mean shit. It's the people that you surround yourself with. It's the people that you can be your true self with. Where it's like, man, I'm going to expose it all, fucking warts and all, man. And like, and I know you got my back and I got yours, and we're going to fucking love each other, and let's like make the best of this existence, because we're on the earth at the same time. How fucking great is that?
Yeah, no, I saw this short on somewhere, YouTube Shorts or something, of this old man saying that. That was great to hear that. We're in this world. He's like, I'm happy to be in this world with each and every one of y'all that's in the world right now.
Man.
Isn't it
Dude,
a great feeling to just be alive with, you know, everybody that's in the world right now? We're alive at the same time.
Think about there's no reason that the three of us should exist at this moment, man. Like,
yeah.
It's just, there's like, it's the odds of this happening are infinite. You just can't even, there's not enough decimal points or at zeros to make out that number as small as it is, right? But it fucking happened. So like, that's awesome. Like,
it's the most amazing thing.
And so, but again, I'm not like waxing poetic, because like life is, I get into a lot of Buddhist mindset and mindfulness and that. And so like, life is struggle, man. Like, it's choose your heart is the way that I try to approach it. Like, you will have struggles in life. You will face hard paths in life. Choose that hard path, man. Like, what is it that you want? Do you want it to be like, oh, it's a lot of work to run a podcast. It's a lot of work to have these side project bands. It's a lot of work to raise a family.
Yeah.
But are you going to choose that hard, or are you going to choose the hard path of being a neglectful person? Right?
Yeah.
Who isn't doing those things, who isn't finding the avenues for your creativity, and so you're just sitting with like what could have been. That sounds hard as well. Now, which path of hard are you going to choose, right? And so, like, because it's going to be hard, so fucking pick it. You might as well pick the hard path, or just let life drag you down a hard path that they choose, and fuck that. So,
because then when you take
I get a little like philosophical at times. So
you take those other avenues, and it makes your life even better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's exactly right, man.
So it's either sit around and louse around and be nothing, and have nothing while being in nothing, living the hard life, or you can have something that makes you happy in that hard life that you're living, and be able to kind of balance it out within the mindset. If you look at it that way, you know what I'm saying? Should balance out everything. So if you're, as long as you're having fun and doing that balance out that hard day at work or that whatever it is, you know, then
just don't hurt anybody, man. Like,
don't hurt anybody. They got a place in China where you go and you pay to punch this freaking clay face deal. So
I
you
love it.
just go down to China and check
Go
it
to
out.
a smash shop.
Yeah, and they just beat up stuff.
Yeah, those like where they take sledgehammers to cars and stuff.
Yeah, if you
Pay
have to do
$5 to
that.
hit a car with a sledgehammer. That sounds fucking awesome.
Or
Yes.
just scream into a mic until you're blue in the face.
Exactly.
You know, just not at anybody, not at your
Whatever
mother's.
it takes, brother. Whatever it takes.
You know, we don't have any little kids watching, so we're pretty good on that. But we don't know.
Yeah, there you go.
There could be some kids with some fake accounts on the
Don't
YouTube
yell at your
watching.
mother.
Don't yell at your mother now. Like, don't do that. You know, just because we look brutal in the death metal scene does not mean like you have to, you know, be
That's so funny.
be Negan from The Walking Dead. You know, don't be a Negan.
Oh shit, man, that's great. Oh man.
Don't be a Negan. That should be a slogan of ours. Don't be a Negan, or you get hit with Negan.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Get a t-shirt, brother.
Yeah, I have a baseball bat named Negan. So,
That's awesome. Oh man.
so yeah. Don't be a Negan, or you get hit with the Negan.
Oh,
Dumb as hell, high as fuck on the
High
High
as
as Fuck
Fuck
podcast.
love it.
I love these how on the fuck on the fly podcasts.
High as fuck on the fly.
Because we get to actually have a communication, actually get to know one another, and just have a simple conversation. I love it. There's no hard hitting questions. There's no like gotcha moments. There's none of that. You know.
We're not trying to fuck with people.
Yeah, and I like our discussions.
Sometimes we
have.
fuck with ourselves.
Yeah, sometimes we mess up, but I think this went really well, though.
Yeah.
To be honest, yeah. So we didn't have
Yeah,
none
man,
of those. We haven't had a moment where we're like, take a shot, take a hit. So we
We
haven't
didn't. We didn't get
is that
jumbled with
Is
our
that
words.
the first conversation we haven't?
Feel like we
had?
haven't. Yeah.
That's the first time.
Yeah.
Did I
what's
fuck
the-
your mojo up? Is that
No,
what
no, we haven't had a fuck up moment.
We
the
haven't
whole
fucked
show.
up by garbling our words, so we haven't had to say take another hit or take another shot. But
That's a good thing.
always take another hit or take another shot.
Yeah, definitely. We had to get it in there somewhere because we didn't fuck
I
up
love
this whole show.
Well,
Yeah, man, that's like your
High five.
that's your signature, right? Like,
Yeah,
you,
if we fuck up on the show, yeah.
I love it, man. That's good stuff. Well, I think you'll fuck up one or two more times in life, and so make it be on the show, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, be like, y'all just do it anyway. Take a shot, take a hit, like and subscribe to Gilsall.
we fucked up by not
Yes,
fucking
sir.
up.
Yeah, we fucked up by not fucking up. we had two professionals, I guess. So two. Damn it, man, we really did though. High five though.
High five.
I mean, we do have
Well,
a
you
better
should
looking
fuck-
logo. So, what now?
You should mic drop this podcast and get the fuck off there, man, or else you're going to jinx yourself.
Yeah.
So,
And this has been.
I don't want to take up much more of your time, so
I appreciate the time, man. Like, Matt, thanks for hitting me up
you're welcome.
online, and we've been, definitely. Let's keep the conversation going, man.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
I consider you guys part of my tribe for sure, and
Hell yeah.
hopefully vice versa. And so, like,
Yep.
I think we made a connection, bros, and
Hell yeah.
let's keep this thing going.
Yeah.
Yes,
Hell
we
yeah.
have. And I loved having you on the show. It's an honor to have you on, and I'm glad that you were able to do it, and you were able to, that you wanted to come on, actually. And all the love that's been shared on Facebook, us being
Yeah,
on
man.
your
The excitement about the show
excitement
has
of the
been
show, yeah.
exciting.
unbelievable
Yeah.
on our behalf, because we're just like, wow, this is pretty cool. This is awesome. Like, this is what we need to push us into the next year. You know?
Yeah,
And-
man. It's one of those where it's like, it's a combination of like just making opportunities happen, right?
Yep.
And then like when they do, just making sure you grasp them and
Yep.
push them across and not like shy away from it. And so like,
Yep.
yeah, you like I can't remember how you even phrased it, but I did a post. I'm like, hey, I'm looking for a podcast. And you're like, how about the High as Fuck Wrestling podcast? I'm like, let's go. And you were like, are you serious? I was like, fuck yeah, I'm serious. Let's do it.
Yep,
And,
that's my real response. I was like, seriously? Because it's just like, I'm just glad that people even, you know what I'm saying? It's just like a big thing.
Yeah. I get it, man. It's hard to create stuff, dude, and it's hard to. And so anyway, yeah, appreciate you guys inviting me on here. I'm glad you didn't ask me anything about wrestling because I'd have to go back in the late '80s when I watched wrestling with like Junkyard Dog and all them, right? So that would be like the extent of my knowledge of wrestling, and so I'm glad we didn't go there because I would have been exposed as a dumbass.
No, you're good. We were gonna keep it straight. Like if wrestling's a part of the thing, I will definitely talk about it. But I knew there was no wrestling connections and stuff. So, and plus, this is a branch that we're taking. So, and I love the branch that we're taking here.
Has this
good stuff, man? Hey, great conversations, great questions, great thoughts, right? You guys are good humans, and I appreciate the time. And Risen comes out January 10th, so hopefully, some people listen to it.
Risen comes out January 10th. When do your videos debut? Let's let you promote stuff before we sign off.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. Yeah, Risen, the song is released on the 10th. The video also drops on the 10th. Okay. So it's already loaded on YouTube, set to go out at midnight local time, Thursday night into Friday. And then I haven't published this yet, but once Risen drops, then I'm going to start publishing the drop date for Siren Comes, which is the second single to be released, and that's going to happen on February 7th. So, so it'll be, I'm excited to see where this goes, and fingers crossed that handful of people at least enjoy it. So anyway, appreciate the time, guys, and best of luck. Enjoy your show tonight, and go enjoy some local music.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate you coming on.
All right, fellas. Peace.
Right, peace. And that has been the highest really great conversation right there, bro. That was lit.
Gilsall.
That was lit. So
our new friend.
Gilsall, y'all heard it there.
He specifically said we were part of his tribe.
So now we're part of the Gilsall tribe. We're a part of the Wicked Chains tribe records, like I said, big things popping, little things
comment,
stopping.
Subscribe, hit that notification bell. Tell us what you want us to talk about,
and send us a band that will actually talk to us.
Also, tell us about a band, and we might interview them. But go down to 716.
Yep, 716 Wings. He gets wings and things.
Go to Southwick Plaza Tobacco and Vape. Go to the vape store behind Sheets.
Sheets Exotic
Smoke Shop.
And then we got
go to Exotics Smoke Shop. Health and wellness store. We were there today.
Over there near the fairgrounds.
Where Blue Moon Tattoo used to be in Ringgold, Virginia, Danville, Virginia area.
Go over there and hit them up and tell them that the
Tell them that the High as Fuck Wrestling Podcast, Joe Cool, Matt Jackson sent you.
Yeah, tell them you sent us, and that has been
the High as Fuck
High as Fuck Podcast
with your boys,
Matt Jackson
and Jedi Joe motherfucking Cool.
And we're
out like Elvis Presley's
Gilsall.